A Fort Worth filmmaker is putting the final touches on a documentary now on the life of Tim Cole.
The filmmaker's goal is to share a personal side of the man who was wrongfully convicted of rape and died in prison, serving a 25-year sentence he did not deserve. Fox 4's Dionne Anglin sat down with the filmmaker for an up-close look at the project.
We leave here today and celebrate this man's life and the family and the things that he stood for and the things that were accomplished in his name.
He died behind bars for a rape he didn't commit. Now the university where trouble began for Tim Cole has posthumously awarded him a law and social justice degree.
Tim was the oldest and I'm the youngest. My mother used to call us Alpha and Omega.
All of it happening as an in-depth documentary releases.
Tim had started 2 years at Texas Tech, and he knew he had siblings behind him that were getting ready to come out of high school, one after another.
Cole himself put his first stint at Texas Tech on hold, joining the Army to soften the financial blow on his parents.
They were both like kind of sad. It's like, you joined the Army? Yeah, for the GI Bill. That way you don't have to pay so much for the rest of them. I'll have mine paid for.
4 years later, back on campus, a chance conversation with a woman who turned out to be an undercover cop investigating a string of rapes.
The undercover police officer, in her note, she said, "That's the Tech rapist." She was reporting to her boss, and her boss said, "How do you know?" And she said, "Because he looks like the sketch."
The project, Long Road to Justice, the Tim Cole story, is years in the making by Fort Worth filmmaker Jared Christopher.
What do you want the viewer to take away here?
I want them to walk away from this and say, that could have been my son, that could have been my brother, and to humanize Tim.
A lot of my journalism career has been focused on criminal justice issues. You know, I've been doing this now for 40 years.
Star-Telegram columnist Bob Ray Sanders is in the film.
We can't bring him back alive, but we can definitely tell his story.
And project backers include the Arlington Film Society.
You know, we didn't call him Tim. Tim was Ears. That was our name for him, you know, Ears. And we all had nicknames in high school.
Managed by one of Cole's former classmates, James Hawthorne.
The way Jared captures it in the movie, you know, he's a child. They got caught up in a system that unfortunately didn't have his best interest.
The day of his funeral, my mother said, "Well, today they know him as a convicted rapist, and I know they'll be thinking that in their minds. But one day the world will know who my son really is."
And there's been a lot of stories about the legislative changes and efforts that have taken place since his death. And those are all very good and they're very positive. But at the end of the day, there's still a young man who died in prison for something that he did not do.
Dionne Anglin, Fox 4 News.